What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again talking SEC football. My top 5 teams in the SEC through week 2. All right. I got these top 5 teams in order, 1 through 5. I know these teams, they might look different in the future. Okay. And later on, they might not even be in my top 5 SEC rankings. All right. And the only reason I went 1 through 5 because I think anybody outside the top 5 has no chance of making it to a SEC championship or the playoffs. My opinion. All right. But like I say, I'm not basing this off the future. I'm only basing these top 5 SEC rankings off what we've seen the last 2 weeks. And yes, I am going by the eye test. And some of you may say I have lying eyes. Okay. You might. But don't beat me up because I didn't put your team where you think they should be. All right. This is opinion based. Okay. So let's get started. And in my opinion, the 5th best team in the SEC is my Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay. Some of you might be saying, you mean to tell me he put his Alabama Crimson Tide at number 5? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. My Alabama Crimson Tide came out in the first game and beat the brakes off Western Kentucky 63-0. They did what they were supposed to do against a lower tier opponent. That's what they were supposed to do. Then the week 2, South Florida. We struggled through 3 quarters, basically 3.5 quarters, basically 53 minutes of a 60-minute game. The last 6.5 minutes, that's when Alabama blew the game open. Okay, when they made a change at right tackle. That's when Alabama blew the game open. But until then, hey, we was being handled by South Florida, a team that I thought Alabama was going to blow out. Okay, so like I said, I'm going by the eye test. We had some issues in that game. We couldn't get the running game going. All right, with those running backs. Really, the whole time, only thing that was working was the quarterback run or Jalen Miro scrambled and picked up yards. And even then, we had penalties called on us, taking points off the board. So Alabama got some things that they got to work on. All right, I'm sure these mishaps will be fixed. Now, Alabama can move up in my top 5 if I think they have fixed the issues and they look good and beat Wisconsin, which is a powerful team. If they go out and handle Wisconsin with no issues, then they could possibly move up from number 5. All right. But I got to be fair. So I got my Alabama Crimson Tide. Plus, hold on, before I go on, Alabama, the defense, they got to get better. They had 200 yards. They gave up over 200 yards rushing to South Florida. You know, mainly because of their dual threat quarterback. I mean, the guy's fast, and South Florida run they run a fast paced offense. So I got to take that into account. So like I say, Alabama got things they need to work on offensively and defensively. That's why I got them at number 5 in the SEC. All right. Moving on, at number 4, I got the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss coming off 2 blowout wins. Game 1 against Furman, 76-0. Game 2, Middle Tennessee, 52-3. They are handling these lower tier teams like they supposed to. They taking care of business, putting points on the board, getting out of these games healthy. Okay. So Ole Miss is doing what they supposed to do. And Ole Miss, I think going forward, they will continue to do this. Now, I believe they got, who they got this week? Wake Forest, I believe. Yep, they play Wake Forest this week. All right, Wake Forest is 1-1 right now. They coming off a 1-point loss to Virginia. And we know Virginia is not a very good team. Now, they in game 1, they beat North Carolina A&T 45-13. All right. But Ole Miss, I think they're going to handle Wake Forest just like they did Middle Tennessee. That's just me. I wholeheartedly believe that. Not Wake Forest, but Ole Miss, that offense is too potent for Wake Forest to stop. And I think, I think Wake Forest posed no challenge to Ole Miss. That's just me. All right. Ole Miss is a good team, a very good team. All right. The defensive side of the ball, they've only gave up 3 points throughout these 2 games. So, yes, I believe in Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss could possibly make it to the SEC championship. I think they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. So, yes, I think Ole Miss is the 4th best team in the SEC. At number 3, I got the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs, 2-0. Game 1, they beat number 15 Clemson, 30-43. Put a beating on them. This last week, they beat Tennessee Tech 48-3. Went out, handled business, did what they were supposed to do. I don't think Georgia was trying to put a whole bunch of points on the board. I think they just took this game to work on some things and try to get out of there with as less injuries as possible. I think Nate Frazier, he got nicked up, but I think he's going to be all right. All right. I think Georgia, they're looking to the future. They don't have to put they didn't have to put much effort into Tennessee Tech. And we all know in game 1, Georgia was a much better team than the Clemson Tigers. We know that. They got better athletes than Clemson Tigers. Some of them come through the transfer portal, something Dabo don't want to do. All right. Now, do I think Georgia was on my top 5 SEC ranks? Do I think they'll stay at number 3? No, I don't. I think they will move up and probably move up pretty fast. Okay. So, hey, it is what it is. Georgia got Kentucky coming up this week, and I think they're going to beat Kentucky pretty handily. Pretty handily. Really, after what South Carolina did to Kentucky last week, I have no doubt that Georgia is going to go. I believe they go into Lexington, and I think they're going to blow Kentucky out of the water. Blow them out of Lexington. I'll just say that. Okay? But right now, I got Georgia as the 3rd best team in the SEC. Now, I know a lot of people going to be up in arms about that. But, hey, it is what it is. This is just what my eyes are telling me. Every team got things they got to work on. Georgia got things they got to work on too. All right, they not perfect. I know the big wigs, Vegas, see them as the number 1 team in the country. But OKB see them as the number 3 team in the SEC. Don't hold no grudge against me. But hey, like I said, I'm just basing it on what I've seen through week 2. All right. All right. Moving on. The 2nd best team in the SEC, in my opinion, those Tennessee Volunteers. Game 1, they took care of business against Chattanooga, 69-3. Game 2, they took care of business against number 24, NC State, 51-10. All right. And the reason they got 10 points was because of 2 turnovers. Nico threw 2 interceptions. Okay. And they scored off those interceptions. But other than that, that defense of Tennessee held NC State in check. Now, NC State is just not a team that you can run over. But guess what? Tennessee did it. Tennessee did it. Tennessee, just like Ole Miss, will continue to have one of the most explosive offenses in the SEC. They will. No doubt about it. Now, I know you might say, they haven't. Wait till they get to SEC play. I don't give a damn. I still think Tennessee is going to have one of the most explosive offense in the SEC. I think they already got one of the best front sevens in the SEC. That's just me. And the secondary showed me last week against NC State that they can step up. These Tennessee Volunteers, 2024 Tennessee Volunteers, is going to be something different. I think this 2024 version of the Tennessee Volunteers is better than the 22 version of the Tennessee Volunteers with Hendon Hooker when they went, I believe they went 11-2 or 11-1 or whatever during the regular season. I believe it was 11-1. So, yeah, I think Tennessee this year is better than that 2022 team with Hendon Hooker when they beat my Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking to the future because I believe my Alabama Crimson Tide will beat this version of the Tennessee Volunteers. That's just an opinion. But right now, through week 2, I got Tennessee as the second best team in the SEC. Hands down. None of these Tennessee fans, they on my ass. All right. After the South Florida showing. They on my ass talking about they can't wait till the 3rd week of November and what they going to do to my Alabama Crimson Tide. Tennessee fans, slow your roll, baby. Slow your roll. Don't talk too fast. All right. Slow your roll. Just like I tell any other team who going to face my Alabama Crimson Tide, the fan base, it's a wait and see game when it comes to my Alabama Crimson Tide. Wait and see what happens. But old KB, more often than not, is right when it comes to his Alabama Crimson Tide and the outcome of games. But as of right now, I got Tennessee as the second best team in the SEC. All right, well, you might say, well, Georgia beat the number 15 team in Clemson, and Tennessee played the 24th team, 24th ranked team. How is they better? The eye test, baby. The eye test. I know what I see. Like I said, some of y'all may say, I have lying eyes. Well, it is what it is. All right. And the number 1 team in the SEC after week 2 is the newcomer, Texas Longhorns. Texas took care of business in week 1 against Colorado State, 52-0. And then in week 2, they play the number 17 defending national champions, Michigan Wolverines, on the road and manhandled them to the tune of 31-12. And I almost forgot, Tennessee also went on the road to play North Carolina State. I know it was at a neutral site in Charlotte, but that's North Carolina State's backyard, and Tennessee had to travel to Charlotte to face those North Carolina State Wolfpack. So I'm counting it as a road game for Tennessee. But anyway, Texas, they manhandled Michigan. Score was 31-12. But guess what? The score don't tell what happened in the game. Because Texas straight molly-whopped Michigan. This game was out of hand really quick. Really quick. Texas had a 24-3 lead at halftime. 24-3. Michigan had no chance. Not Michigan, but Michigan had no chance against Texas. And just like Tennessee, Texas got one of the best offensive minds in the game. And these offenses can explode at any time. In Texas, I like what they defense bring too. So yeah, I got Texas as the number 1 team in the SEC after week 2, going by the eye test. So shout out to Texas. Shout out to Texas. And they doing all this with their starting running backs out of the game. So if you dispute my top 5 rankings, hey, go right ahead. In the comments, let me know your top 5 SEC teams for 2024 after week 2. All right, it is what it is. But going below the top 5 at number 6, I got Missouri. 7, I got Oklahoma. And 8, I got South Carolina. But the top 5 is all that matters to KB. That's just me, man. That's just me. Okay? And going back to Tennessee, or going back to who? I believe it was Tennessee. Somebody. But anyway, going back to Tennessee. Tennessee, I think they're going to get better too throughout the season. I think Nico is going to get better. Y'all remember, this is Nico's first year start. So he's going to make some mistakes. But I guarantee you, Nico is the type of athlete, the type of quarterback that's going to learn from those mistakes. And I have no doubt about it. Just like I said about Ole Miss, I think Tennessee could easily be in a SEC championship game in 2024. Tennessee is going to make the 12-team playoff, no doubt about it. Now, I think all these teams could be in the SEC championship. Do I think 5 SEC teams can get in the playoffs? No, I don't. I don't think all 5 of these teams, Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Bama, will be in that playoff. But, well, I don't know, man. They might. I ain't lying. They might. All 5 of these teams might be in the playoff if you look at it. Okay? Because you can lose 2 or 3 games and get in the playoffs. And who does the Big Ten have? Ohio State. I don't think Michigan might get in the playoff. I really don't. All right. So it is what it is. ACC, Miami, Florida State ain't going to no playoff. Clemson may go. Get they act together. They may go to the playoffs. All right. 2 teams from the ACC. The Big 12. I don't think they pose a threat to any damn body. That's just me. Let's look at the Big 12. As far as the playoffs, who they got? Kansas State, Oklahoma State. That's about it, in my opinion. So yeah, 5 SEC teams could make the damn playoffs. It could happen. It could happen from what I'm looking at. So hey, we'll see. We will see. Where's the Big Ten at? But oh well. So those are my top 5 SEC teams through week 2. Texas at 1, Tennessee at 2, Georgia at 3, Ole Miss 4, and Alabama at 5. But like I said, let me know what you think about it. If you disagree, put it in the comments. If you agree, put it in the comments. But if you disagree, let me see your top 5 SEC teams through week 2. And without further ado, y'all be blessed. And I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. And roll damn Tide.